Good day, fellow champions of inclusion. I am A. Ron, and this is the Inclusive Dad Podcast, where we explore inclusion and make it practical. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join me in exploring ways we can create a more inclusive world together. You are important, you matter, and you can make a difference. Today, my guest is Jeremy Neuheisel. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Aaron. Thank you for having me. I'm
Absolutely.
I am so honored to be on your show after just meeting you a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah, before I have you introduce yourself, I'll just tell the audience how we met. So I live in Minnesota. Jeremy lives in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and there was a event in Sioux Falls where Nadia Bowles Weber was speaking at a church there. So I went out there with my partner and my dad to the event. Before the event, there was opportunity to go up and talk to Nadia. So I was sitting there and I was like, I don't know if I should go. I'm like, no, I should go. I might never meet her again. This is the opportunity. So I went up there, and then when I was in line, Jeremy came right behind me in line. So it was very, um, and of all the people that could have came behind me, it was interesting to me that you came behind me. You can talk a little bit more about yourself, but you use a power chair like my daughter. So it's just a very, very one of those times in your life when you're like, wow, that was not a coincidence. It was meant to happen. So that's how we met. And
Yeah.
talked for a little bit in line, and I asked Jeremy if he would like to be on the podcast, and here we are. So that was
Yeah. And we
how we
talked
met.
about spam.
Yeah, we talked about spam. Yep, you're right.
Yep.
Yeah, do you want to maybe just talk a little bit more about yourself and your background and whatever
Okay.
you want to?
So so I was born in 2000 in 1994. I have a twin brother. He does not have a disability, and we are 31 years old.
Okay.
He is married, and so now he's kind of starting his own life. I work at Hy-Vee 1 day a week as a greeter, so that I'm constantly trying to find new ways to learn and keep myself motivated at work to talk to customers. So like when I read books and stuff, I always find something to talk about. So like the latest book I'm reading now is called Disability in the Christian Tradition by Brian Brock.
Okay.
Um,
Is that a pretty good book?
it is a good book. Like it's a reader, so it has a whole bunch of different side notes of different books. But
Okay.
you gotta go to universities to find them so far. I haven't been able to find them online,
Okay.
like as sources or whatever.
Sure.
But
So
Brian Brock
you like
is like
go ahead.
leading college professor. If you look him up on YouTube, and he'll talk about disability, and so it kind of got me interested in disability studies because I want to figure out how I fit into the Christian puzzle.
Sure.
My
Yeah.
my faith is very important to me. It gives me something to strive for. Probably probably since I was 16, I kind of got into it because I was learning about Jesus in history class,
Sure.
and my teacher told me to go to church because I was annoying her, I think. I went to school for the blind up in Aberdeen.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
lost my vision
What?
due to high pressure in the brain. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping around.
You're okay. Yeah. So um did you growing up, did you go to church then, or are you saying later in life you kind of started going?
I tried. My grandma tried taking me to church, and so did my mom, but I didn't really care for it
Okay.
because I was 9, and like 9-year-olds don't really find the appeal of going to Sunday schools. Well, some don't.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I grew up Baptist, so we were in church. I mean, Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, we were there anytime the door was
mhm.
open. So I grew up going to a lot of church.
Mhm.
I mean, sometimes I don't think. I mean, I don't remember like fighting my parents not to go, but I'm guessing there were some times where I wasn't too happy about going. But that's
Yeah.
what we did. So yeah.
Mhm. And then hmm,
Well, here, what is your definition of inclusion?
my definition of inclusion is trying to make things as close as possible, so like people can get to the activities that they want to get to,
Sure.
and if there are some barriers, they can try to overcome them,
Right. Yeah.
like whether it's transportation
Hmm.
or like certain times. So like the things that I would like to try to change is like for our transportation system here in town, it runs from 5:45 in the morning to 8:45. So
Hmm.
like that's not really that's really not all like that's enough time to go to work and do the stuff that you need to do during the day. But if you want to have a nightlife or like be a part of a church, all
Right.
that stuff like most of the stuff for church happens at night, like Bible study and rooted and all those important groups that could get you developed into the church and integrated into service and finding your purpose.
Right.
Like for so many years I felt like I didn't have a purpose because I didn't go to college because I don't know, I worked hard in high school. I like for two assignments it probably took me 4 hours to do because of my visual impairment and trying to type everything or write everything.
Hmm.
Um,
So how do you, yeah, I think when you came to the event where I met you, did somebody drove you there? So if it's something in the evening, you have to find somebody that's able to drive you to the event and then either
yeah,
stay with you or pick you up.
if it's not close enough, so yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, I walk home
Mm,
or yeah, because our cabs are like $45 to 60,
right.
and yeah, I don't really want to spend that money. What you
Right.
need to
Are all the buses and the cabs accessible then, or you have to get specific ones, or how does that work?
all the buses are, but it's
Okay.
all timing things. So like right now, I'm dealing with trying to go someplace like an hour and a half early to 2 hours just so I get there with hopefully
Right.
within that first hour or second hour
Right.
because sometimes I've been late for like the volunteer orientations
Hmm.
and if it's volunteering or going to the gym, it's not that big of a deal. But like if I have a doctor's appointment and I have like an
Right.
hour and 15 minutes late, or I'm running on an hour and then I have 15 minutes to get there, and then I
Right.
still end up being late because they treat the paratransit people different than the micro people because the micro people don't have a set window.
Hmm.
Our paratransit users play by a different game, so to say.
Well, yeah. Yeah,
Like
that's frustrating if you can't. So it sounds like you can't really count on them to pick you up when you need to get picked up and get to the places on time.
yeah, you gotta be able to be flexible and be willing to be flexible and trying
Right.
to figure out mindfulness. So like that's another thing that I struggle with is anxiety. And I
Right.
think that's what my faith is kind of helped me with, is because the more I struggle, I feel the more I try to dig it into God and the Word and trying to be peaceful instead of feeling like I'm gonna spaz out or wanting to hit
Right.
or beat somebody up, because
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like it. I mean, to me, that'd be frustrating. I have vehicles, so if I need to go somewhere, I drive myself. So it's being more dependent on other people. That's frustrating if it's not. Yeah, I know other
Yeah.
people where they live in Austin, where kind of where I live, and they use like public transportation, and they live in a place that's on a route, but still you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, if depending on what time you got to be to the doctor, you might have to go a couple hours or like way early to make
hmm
sure you get there, and then when you're done, you might have to wait an hour depending on the timing to catch the
hmm
bus to come back home. So it's a different. I don't have to deal with that, so I
Yeah.
mean, it
My
sounds frustrating.
I started seeing this girl. I don't know if you've ever heard of Dateability. It's a dating app for people with disabilities, and actually
I don't think so. Okay.
normal people as well. But this girl actually used to live in Austin.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, and she has cerebral palsy as well.
Okay. Yeah. So did you growing up, did you have like an IEP in school, or how was school for you?
I did have IEP. Like the aides helped me a lot with with like homework and stuff, and I didn't feel like I had to really pay attention. So like when I got to school for the blind, I kind of realized where I was actually lacking. The aides tried. Some of the aides tried to show me a memorial with my math because they actually tried to have me do it.
Mm.
But like I noticed when I went up to school for eighth grade, like through my eighth grade to high school years, like I had to go back down to a fifth grade level of math because I just never really grasped it and I never really took to it.
Right.
Um,
Is Sioux Falls like pretty accessible, or how's the accessibility around there?
yeah, Sioux Falls is really well. Sioux Falls is accessible in some areas. It could be better in others. Like we have an accessible gym program through the Vandermark building. That's at
Okay.
Sanford. So all the exercise equipment is mostly wheelchair friendly. Otherwise, they got people that would help you get on the new step or stretch you out, or
Sure.
and then we do some adaptive sports like biking and kayaking and shoot archery. So like I learned how to shoot archery with my teeth.
Oh, really?
Yep. So I have a thing called a mouth tab. So then I just bite down on it, and then I just point the bow forward,
Okay.
and then just let it go, like with my good arm.
Interesting. Can you hit the target?
For the most part,
Huh.
that's another reason why I learned. That's another reason why how I learned that God exists because one time we were playing this game where he had to hit the feet for 30 points because
Okay.
it was during Thanksgiving for like crows and stuff.
Yep.
And so I hit the feet twice, and I
Nice.
was the only one to do it that day. And I have a visual impairment, so I can't really tell where I'm shooting.
Yeah. It's cool. Yeah. So as far as like disability in the Bible, like what maybe talk a little bit about um how do you view the Bible and disability, or what have you found when you're reading and different things?
Okay, well, the thing that's really started getting me interested was in Second Samuel, I think chapter 7, when Jonathan's grandson got dropped by his helper and became paralyzed. Well, David made a
Mhm.
pact with Jonathan that he would take care of all of his descendants,
Hmm.
according to another book I read. Um, and so that he asked the servants to stay on and take care of him. And so then by that way, the the able-bodied people were helping the disabled people stay holy and giving them purpose as well.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
like in the same token, like if I'm not so like when my mom's taking me to church and she don't stay, she's still doing a good service by taking me to church
Right. Yep.
or or making me making my meals, or or people who like read the Bible to me, or if I don't use audio Bible, you know.
Hmm.
I have a CCTV and stuff, but
Sure.
like if I can't like take it to church or
Mm,
whatever, I can't really read the Bible.
right.
So it's basically so it's basically like a coaster for my beer or pop or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. What are some other verses that you in the Bible? I looked up one. Let me just read this one to you. When I was preparing for this, I mean, so I grew up Baptist, so a lot of I was in church a
mhm,
lot. So a lot. My daughter was born, and then
mhm,
3 months old, diagnosed with epilepsy and then cerebral palsy. So there's, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in
yeah,
church and the Bible where,
mhm,
for me specifically, like I always, they talk about you get to heaven.
mhm,
Everybody's gonna have a perfect body and be able to walk and blah 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 blah. And I was like,
mhm,
well, that kind of, to me, it kind of means that if you can't do all those things, then some people consider that you're not, like, your body isn't perfect, which I'm still trying to work through. But like this verse here
yeah,
in Genesis, so Genesis 1:27 says, this is New International, I think. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him, male and female, he created them. So just, what does that verse mean to you as a person with a disability, that God created man in his own image?
I think he I think he had a plan to show our weaknesses,
Hmm.
um, or or even his face, you know, like in a way.
Yeah.
Uh, I
Yeah.
think one,
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think one verse that sticks to me, that wouldn't be in Genesis, it would be in Revelation 3. We strengthen what remains, and that's just a little excerpt of like one of the passages for like a torn down tower. But
Okay.
like when I think it's trying to strengthen what remains as well, like instead of trying to read it all the time, you use my ears and try to soak it in, like the
Sure.
memory of
Yep.
memorizing the scripture, like being the bucket.
Hmm.
Have you ever heard of the bucket analogy with the old man and the grandson?
I'm not sure if you want to if you want to talk about it. Go for it.
Okay, so the old so the grandson asked the old man why does he keep a broken down bucket and a perfectly good bucket to go fill up water. While he's like along the way you can still water the flowers because that old bucket will leak out water and you're eventually you you you're watering the flowers along the way. So that analogy to me means you will never know who you're gonna meet along the way that you can inspire to read the Bible or grow
Sure.
close or give comfort to.
Yeah. It's a good
Like
analogy.
I met a gal at Hy-Vee and I didn't even do any work besides talk to her because I was on break and we were talking about her losing her husband and so I was telling her what Bible verses to read and she thought that was just so great.
Hmm.
It was it's tough for her, but like I started to realize like I don't need to make money to help people. I can try to comfort them the best I can, either the grieving widow or like in Isaiah, like try to work in justice and take care of the widow and take care of the
Hmm.
people that grieves.
Right. Yeah. It's a great story. Yeah. We just need to use our gifts that we've been given in the best way we can, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, the verse in Genesis kind of reminds me that it says that God created man in his image. So I mean that to me that means like everybody is made in his image, no matter like what abilities they have or disabilities they have. Everybody was created in God's image, so that's perfect, and they were created perfect in that way. So that kind of, I mean, to me,
Yeah,
it kind of gives me comfort.
yeah,
Since a lot of people view disability as some people view it as negative or
hmm
not whole. So it just kind of tries to remind me that God did create my daughter and people with disabilities that way. So
yeah. Um, so 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 have you ever looked up what the meaning of Israel means? The word. So it means to
uh
struggle.
sorry, what does it mean?
Israel me The word Israel, according to the internet, means to struggle. The word Israel.
Oh, really? Hmm,
Yeah, because I
I
did a
don't know that.
little mini serpent on names because my one friend wants me to look at going into seminary and try because he's like because he finds it very amazing that I have such a knack for pulling up scripture and
Yeah,
which my dome.
yeah, yeah. You've been writing off verses way better than I can. So yeah, you definitely seems like you can retain that stuff and access it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, it's like lifting weights. If you want to get better at lifting weights, or you're gonna continue to do it. It's
Yeah,
like picking up a textbook.
right.
Eventually, you
Yeah,
memorize the textbook if you keep reading it.
for sure, for sure. Have you ever given like a sermon or a lesson like in a church setting?
I have. I taught unclobbered with my friend Walt. With my friend Walt,
Okay.
and actually his our relationship is kind of interesting because I met him in 2018, and I didn't call him till 4 years later. He gave me his business card.
Nice.
He was
You
a
guys.
he was a minister in
Okay.
Springfield, so he was gonna probably, I think, maybe see if I check it out or something.
Yeah.
But then I didn't call him because times were, I don't know, good. And
Yep.
then 4 years later, I was going through like a rough patch because I was having relationship issues with this girl I was seeing, and we
Yeah.
ended things. Uh, and so I needed some counsel that wasn't from my home church because I just needed somebody that was Switzerland.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
cool. So you guys like teach together? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So we did this on Flabber. It's this Bible study to learn how to interpret the Clobber passages. The author
Okay.
is named Kobe Martin. He got fired in 2012 for "Don't Ask, Don't Tell." He's put on Facebook, "I'm glad this day finally came," and his conservative church saw that and canned him.
Hmm. Interesting.
It's
Yeah.
it's interesting though. Like that stuff. Like it's hard to teach. It's hard to teach people that already
Mhm.
think they know about like the Bible. Like if they're like conservative, like it's hard to get them to want to read that point of view.
Right.
Or they'll
For
be
sure.
like, or they'll be like, I already know that. And I'll be
Yep.
like, well, then why did you even ask me?
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, from my experience too, there's definitely some people who are just they're okay with just knowing what they know about the Bible, or I mean
yeah,
anything, I guess, and they don't want to dig into it.
yeah.
And then there are those that want to dig into it. So it's definitely
Mhm.
interesting how some people are just, I mean, which is okay. We're all different. So
Yeah.
some people just
Different,
are okay
different,
with what they know.
different folks, different strokes.
Yep.
Ecclesiastes is a really good book too. If you're gonna, if you're trying to figure out your purpose, I feel like as a person with a disability, because I feel like no matter what I do, I'm gonna be bored because I'm always looking for something. So that's another
Sure.
thing. I think that's the reason why I read all these thought-provoking Christian books like J.I. Packer's Knowing God, he's
Mhm.
very conservative, so like he would not. I don't think he would. I don't think he would align with Kobe Martin. Same with Rob Bell. He's a universalist.
Mhm.
If you know who he is.
Yeah, I've heard the name. So what made you want to go to Nadia's event? Have you read her books and stuff?
I actually have.
Okay.
I've read the Saints. What is it?
Accidental Saints or something?
Yep, Accidental
Yep.
Saints. And then I read her. I read her friend's book, Wholehearted Faith, and she did a
Okay.
forward with Rachel Held Evans because she just died.
Okay. Yeah. So what did you think of Nadia's stuff, or what drew you to that?
I I thought it was kind of interesting because I thought it was kind of interesting to go like to watch her speak because like the more I thought about it, like when I first seen her or like when I first saw her speak, I kind of thought she was kind of dark, and then she was kind of like talking about when like when times are tough, she needs Jesus. Well, then I was
Yep.
watching some conservative guy and on YouTube, and he basically said the same thing, and I'm like, I'm like, I'm like, I find that interesting that both preachers from different sides of the camp
Hmm.
say the exact same thing that they both need Jesus.
Right. Yeah.
And I would love to spend a week with Nadia and see what she could teach me about or what I could teach her.
Yeah.
You know, like
Well,
how to draw near to God, and so
yeah.
God will draw near to you in your anxiety, and then maybe that's what she does.
Yeah.
Because it's all about trying to learn how to embrace your weaknesses and trying to instead of trying to fight your anxiety or your porn addiction or your just say, God, make this anxiety or porn addiction work for you versus trying to take it away. You know, it's
Yeah.
like the thorn that I talk about in 2 Corinthians 10 or 12
Yep.
when Paul asks God, why don't you take this thorn away from me? And then God says, well, it's better if I don't. Well, that's more like paraphrase, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like her stuff. I've read Accidental Saints and then Pastrix, and I just like how like she's honest about her struggles and just talks
Mm-hmm.
about them because I mean that's not something I'm used to. So her to have
Mm-hmm.
somebody of her position like just
Mm-hmm.
talk about all the stuff that's happened in her life to me is I like that part of it. And then just I mean, like I said, I grew up Baptist, so
Mm-hmm.
she swears and has tattoos, which kind of is interesting to me because that's just so not what I grew up
Yeah,
with. So just her, it's interesting.
she's herself,
Yeah. Yep.
which is refreshing.
Yes, for sure. And
And I mean,
she had in those books too, she has a net she really can explain stuff. Like she has a different perspectives, she can explain things in a way I've never heard them explained before, which I like because it brings a different perspective and a different way to think about it too.
uh, I like I like when she like in one of the quotes in the books. I think in Accidental Stage, she was walking by a homeless man, and the homeless man called her called 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 her a very provocative name,
Hmm.
and, and she's like, and these are the people that we're supposed to take care of.
Yep.
And so like you just gotta learn how to love people
Yep.
the way they are, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, I am I am looking at doing membership and discernment through the UCC church. They have a disability ministry type thing.
Okay.
Hopefully, as I get deeper into the UCC culture, I could learn. I can learn how disability ministries actually helps. Because like what I find on YouTube so far, it's just or not YouTube, but like their Facebook page.
Hmm.
They just do a lot of like safety and protocols, like so like if people are like living like in a hurricane area
Okay.
where they know they can go. um, I would like to learn
Interesting.
more about like religion and how like how like how like Augustine's thoughts affected us
Hmm.
throughout the histories. Because if you know who Saint Augustine was, he was he was he was a priest. He actually had disabilities. Like in his 30s, he got, I think, was it tuberculosis? No, tuberculosis and like liver spots. Well, then his
Interesting.
servant had the same thing. Instead of letting his servant go, he kept him on and like gave him a house and they literally cared for one another instead of turning each other away.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I did not know that.
Same with
In,
same, same with Julian and Norwich. I could not imagine being being so being so invested in God that I literally asked him to see Jesus and
hmm,
then ask for some sickness and then ask for the three wounds. They call it the three wounds. So then actually having like three wounds. So then I'm trying to remember the third one. I think was it holes?
interesting. I had not dug into any of that stuff. You know a lot of stuff.
I try. I found education gives me something to do.
Yeah.
Like honestly, if if I could go back in time and tell myself, I would just tell myself to try to dig into the word as much as possible, and
Hmm.
you'll be a lot happier for it.
Yeah.
Versus versus trying to be fulfilled in friends. I was trying, like when I first graduated high school, like I was, since I lived here and my friends lived all over the state, you can't go see them all the time, especially if you don't have transportation.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. I got a question for you. What is one tip that you can share to help the listeners be more inclusive today? So just something anybody can do today to be more inclusive.
I would say I would say don't be scared to go up to somebody with a disability or even people with disabilities. Don't be scared to go up to somebody and say and ask them for coffee and coffee and take advantage. If they give you their phone number, you give them your phone number and try to develop a relationship.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a
Um,
great tip. If anybody's listening to this and they want to connect with you, how can they find you, or what's the best way to connect with you?
I would do Facebook or I would do my email address would be a good one. So it'd be all lowercase. It's
Okay.
the one I gave you. So
Okay. Is it okay if I put it in the show notes? So if people want to
yeah,
email you, they can. Okay. I can do that.
Um,
Cool.
and then you could and then if anybody's interested in the gym too, we always put the Sanford Accessible Gym
Sure.
Facebook as well, because there's there is a lot of good activities. Like we have sled hockey here, so like if people want to play hockey, they could
Sure.
go do that. Or
That's awesome.
um,
That's awesome. Are you ready for the last question? You probably know what it's going to be, but you ready?
sure,
Do you like spam lunch meat? Yes or no?
yes, I do. I like to put it with pizza burgers.
What?
You mix it in Hormel chili, and then you put it in a food processor, and then you put it on an English muffin or a bagel. Or
Okay.
yeah.
I've never heard of that.
What about you?
I like it. We usually eat it if like just take it out of the can, slice it up, fry it, and then have it with like pancakes or something. That's the
Mm-hmm.
most common way we eat it. But
Mm-hmm.
growing up, we would have it. My
Mm-hmm.
mom would take it out of the can and just kind of dice it and then throw it
Mm-hmm.
in like a macaroni salad.
Mm-hmm.
I've had it that way too. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't eat it a lot, but I eat it probably once or twice a year. We'll have it.
Okay. So what made you want to get into the inclusive into to start the inclusive dad?
My daughter Cecilia, she's 22, so I just um, part of her story is when she went to school, she was sent across town to like a segregated classroom, and I found out early on that the other kids in the class were folding towels, and I was like, these kids are like in kindergarten, first grade. Why are we doing this? So started finding out about inclusion, trying to get her, included as much as
Mm,
possible, and then just kind of couple times I've kind of gone down the path and stuff happened in life and didn't follow through. This time I'm just, just want to share people's stories like yourself and
yeah.
talk to people, talk about inclusion, talk about these issues that are out there so people can hear it and are aware of them. So that's kind of why and how I started it.
Yeah. Have you ever had any like disability activists on your channel? Like like like
Um,
like transportation or like any of the adapt groups?
I have not. No, I don't think I've been in anybody like in the adapt or any of those groups. No.
Okay.
Do you know anybody?
I've been trying to find some groups that would help me figure out how to find people that would be interested in helping figure out how to change the transportation system, or get more into the activism role of like the Medicaid cuts. Or
Sure.
yeah.
I'll have to look on some of my Facebook stuff because I think I might be connected to some people that are in those circles. So I'll see if I can find some people for you.
Okay. I I've made some contacts. I
Okay.
but it just doesn't work out because the guy's too busy. And
Oh,
one day I went to go see him. Well then my ride was like hour late, and then he couldn't stay
oh,
because
right.
he had other
Yeah.
places to be.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like like my friend always hates this when I say this, but like when you're disabled, you sometimes you have nothing truly better to do. But wait, you gotta figure out how to let your stuff keep and just
Right.
let your thoughts. But I mean, that's easier said than done because last last November on Veterans Day, I got stranded at the Sheraton Hotel for 3 hours because they couldn't find the Center for Families for a homeless shelter that I wanted to go volunteer at because it was unmarked for safety reasons. Well, then they dropped me off at the Sheridan and left me there for two 2 to 3 hours, and then they called me, and then they're like, "Well, are you at home?" I'm like, "No, you guys left me here." And so I
Oh,
literally flipped out because they don't. because once you take fair transit, they don't like you to take the city bus because then you can lose fair transit because they want to make room for other people that need pure transit.
Oh,
Which
that's
which I
frustrating.
feel like at this point the system should just be open to everybody
Right.
because then you can do whatever you want. You don't have to wait for micro. And if I got stabbed in the city bus, that would make me appreciate fair transit for being as safe as it is. Like I have a lot
Yeah.
of driver friends that don't like to take that don't like to work for the city bus because their clientele is a lot more rougher.
Yeah. Well, we've had a great time. We had a great conversation. We'll have to maybe do it again sometime.
Yeah, we shall have to.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being on today.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay.
To those listening, thank you for allowing me to be part of your journey. It is truly an honor. Please join the podcast newsletter by clicking on the link in the episode description to keep up with the latest episodes. Together, we can make the world more inclusive. Until next time, stay empowered and be a champion for inclusion.